Welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam Smith, and inside this video, I'm excited to be showing you a Tinkering Paws all-in storage solution for Dark Souls, the board game. Now, this game delivered years ago, but there's a lot of you out there that still have this one and potentially have it across multiple Calyx shelf slots. And you also will likely have somewhere between 15 and 18 boxes with the all-in pledge, trying to keep things organized. Well, this insert is going to reduce all of that down to 7. I've been storing this game on the shelf for a number of years, and it takes up a ton of Calyx shelf slots. I believe somewhere in the vicinity of 4 or 5, which is pretty insane. You can reduce that by half at least by getting this insert, and that's going to bring things down. Now, this insert, if I'm not mistaken, is also available in STL files, but you'll find a discount for the physical version of the insert if you want to pick it up directly from their website. I have a coupon code for you in the pinned comment and video description, but if you have your own 3D printer, you can also go after the STL files and get those printed out. This is a massive reduction in the amount of boxes for this one. So if you're still holding on to this one, you're still enjoying it, you're still playing it, whether you're using the official rules, the additional rules from Steamforged Games, or some unofficial rules, however you're enjoying Dark Souls, the board game, this insert is a big win. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to take you through all 7 boxes to show you the insert, how it organizes and stores all the components of the game. But I need to mention something here. You'll see 6 boxes in front of you. The 7th is off screen right now. It's a duplicate of the core box, and that's because I threw out the smaller box that I needed for that 7th insert to fit inside of, unfortunately. So I went ahead and used a larger size box than I actually need to make do for the moment. So I have a second core box, and I also noticed this main core box, which you do need one of them, has lid lift. You'll see here, if I go ahead and move this, you'll see that it actually does have lid lift on it, but it also stores a lot more than it originally intended. Without further ado, let's dive into the very first box, the core box, and I'll show you everything inside. With the other boxes out of the way, let's check out what's inside this one. On the top, I've got the rulebook. We'll move that out of the way, and then you're going to see a platform, which is why this box is extended the way it is. It has these anchors on the sides, which are going to elevate the tiles in the game, and they sit on top of the box. When those tiles are taken out of the equation, you can see some of the larger monsters within the game all housed at the bottom of the base box. Now, it's worth mentioning you do have the option to potentially take these out. So if you don't want to have these corners in, you just pull them out. You can see how they just go right into these slots right here. So when you want to use them, you have a platform for your tiles. If you don't want to use them, then really the lid lift is quite minimal. It's just about maybe 2 centimeters above the box. So if you already have a better solution for your game tile storage, or you just want to have a smaller core box size in general, these absolutely can be optional. For those that are familiar with Tinkering Paws, they use a track system to ensure all the miniatures stay in place so that these boxes can be stored vertical or horizontal and nothing is going to shift around. So you'll see here for the enemies, they just simply slide into these track grooves on the side and drop into place. For me personally, I don't mind keeping the tiles on the very top of this box. I like how it keeps things nice and snug, ensures those game tiles are going to stay in good condition as well. It's a very good fit. The rest of the insert boxes I'll be going through are in no particular order. Let's check out this one. Similar to the prior box we just checked out, we got another box here full of enemy miniatures. And these ones, again, are running the lines of bosses, mini-bosses, that kind of thing. Again, they all use the track system, and they keep things stowed away. When these were in separate expansion boxes, they really took up a ton of space. Moving on to the next box, this one doesn't house an insert at all. It's primarily used for the character dashboards, and there's also a number of the maps. Of course, those mini maps for the bosses you're going to see down below, and they're all folded up. There's a number of these stacked. Moving on to the next box, this one does have an insert inside. There's enemy miniatures throughout. Various sizes of enemy miniatures can be found inside of this one, all the way down to the smallest of miniatures, and you'll also see the characters that you can actually choose from when you're going into a Dark Souls campaign for yourself, and you also got the more special characters that come as part of some of the expansion packs, again in different colors. On to the next box we go, but before we do, I want to mention something. If you have the all-in pledge, which is exactly what you should have if you're going after this insert, you're going to have multiple boxes of the same size. So you'll be able to actually pick boxes that you like the artwork for more than others as you go along. Because typically with the Dark Souls all-in package, there was multiple boxes of different sizes. So when you go to put your insert inside of a box, you'll notice you could potentially put it in other boxes as well. Here is the last giant expansion box. Now this one is very targeted to the game components, so you have a couple of trays at the very top for some of the dials and some of the other pieces, but as we get a little further in, you'll start to see the specialized books for each of the wonderful bosses in the game that are going to throw all kinds of fun at you, so a giant stack of those, and it actually continues even further because I wasn't able to grab all of them, there's so many of them, and then it gets down to the mini folded up boards for some of the bosses. So the ones that basically didn't fit in the other box that you saw will all fit nicely right in here. And you've got a couple of trays that you can pull out that have some terrain pieces on them, again using the track system, and stored in a way to ensure that they don't go anywhere when the box lid is closed. As you can see, there's custom design within the insert. It's not just all squares and rectangles and track systems. There's also some specific custom made areas for specific tokens and different game pieces, which is a nice touch. We made it to box number 6, and this one houses the cards for the game. This box is a huge bonus in terms of organization for the game because you can quickly find the boss cards that you need or the character cards you need. You can see here I've got some dice in some of these card trays as well. I'm starting to kind of make use of different trays in different ways, and that's mainly because, again, I had 2 core sets, so I have some additional cards I don't really need, but more than anything, I have additional dice. That's kind of a plus, but I've decided to just go ahead and jam them in here. Now, if you wanted to sleeve everything in Dark Souls as it is, then it would fill up all the trays here. There wouldn't be any dead space whatsoever because these trays are made for sleeve cards up to 100 microns. The dividers make life easy when you're trying to find anything inside this insert. You simply just thumb through it to find the section of cards that you need for whatever you're looking for, and this is the only box you really need to have close by because all the cards are in it. Taking out the trays that are on the left-hand side, you start to see the token trays underneath, which are certainly handy for organization and will make life easy when you're playing the game. At the very bottom, there was another tray here full of more tokens as well as dice, and there's some markers as well. So again, when you're going to set the game up on the game table, you can grab these 2 trays because you'll be using them all the time. The tokens will be all organized for you in advance. On the right-hand side of the box, there is a bunch of standard-sized cards, so there's nothing underneath as it needs to space as these cards are all stored vertically. Last but not least is box number 7, and again, this would be much smaller if I had the correct box that's supposed to be used for this insert. As you'll see in a moment when I open up this box, it's very, very empty. With the makeshift box I'm using for this insert now open, you can see inside I'm only using about half the height of this actual box and only about 3/4 of its base. So overall, I'm just looking for something a little bit smaller. Again, if I had had the correct box, which I believe was one of the character boxes or one of the smaller expansion boxes, what this is supposed to be inside of, and you'll have no problems getting it into that. I just threw mine out years ago. So I'm going to have to find something else. In the meantime, maybe something made of cardboard, maybe one of those white card storage cases, something along those lines to put this insert in, but for now, this is where it sits. And again, as you've seen already, the track system is in full use here. You can see some of the smaller miniatures here making up the different tracks. So you can put similar miniatures in the same lines. You can follow the exact instructions as they have them on their website. They have them in PDF form. You can actually watch a video of him actually going ahead and putting all the miniatures in, or you can just go ahead and put what you want where you want because maybe your setup dictates something different. And that, my friends, wraps up the storage solution for Dark Souls the board game from Tinkering Paws. This is a game that absolutely, for the all-in pledge individuals, needed one badly. There was just so many boxes, and now having this thing condensed down to where it only takes up about 2.5 slots on the Calyx shelf instead of about 5 is a massive reduction for me in terms of space savings. It also allows me to get the game quicker to the table and back in the box easier, and that's a huge plus. Now, if you pick up the physical version of the insert, you have a choice across a number of colors that they give you. I went with yellow just to match the outside of the box, but you might pick a completely different color. Maybe you go for a white or something that would also align, or something else thematic, but you have options there. Now, if you're going after the STL files, you'll have the ability to do whatever you want when you print it for yourself. Thanks again for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if this video helped you make a decision on the insert from Tinkering Paws. And if you're grabbing the physical insert, make sure that you use the coupon code in the pinned comment and video description. If you're just enjoying Dark Souls the board game and you want to let us know your thoughts on it in general, do so in the comments. Would love to hear from you, whether you're using the official rules, the unofficial rules. Maybe there's lots of variants out there. And on top of it, there's even some of the newer core sets that have released. Let me know what your thoughts are in general on Dark Souls. I've even covered this one on the channel in the past as well. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.